Hello, 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 all you beautiful people. Happy Friday and welcome, welcome, welcome into the Fat Film House on this wonderful, awesome Friday evening. Welcome into my kitchen this evening. This evening, we are going to be making meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and lima beans, the dinner of the South. So come on in the kitchen with me. I'm already peeling up some potatoes for my mashed potatoes. I'm putting them in here and then I'm going to rinse them. I have, I just have myself what I call a trash bowl, and I just peel my peelings in there and crack my eggshells and throw them in there, and then I can throw all my trash away once I'm done. So I'm in here peeling some potatoes up to get them cooking for my mashed potatoes. I hope everyone is doing well. Cowbell. Havoc! Let's go with the 16-month sub. Hello, Havoc. Thank you for the resub, sir. Glad to see you back in here. I hope things are settling down for you and your job and for you and your mom. That's why I wanted to stop by your stream last night and check on you, see how you and the mom's doing. And I'm glad to hear things are settling down and doing well for you in your new home. Hello, Jada Girl. Salt. I see Thor in here and Jeffro. Welcome in, everyone. Llama beans? Yes, llama beans. Lima beans is a very popular bean in the South, Salt. If you've not heard of honey and peanut butter sandwiches, I'm sure you don't know what a lima bean is, but we grow them in our gardens here in the South. So, it is a popular bean that you boil and cook. Usually put like a little bit of ham hock in it for flavoring, some salt, some pepper, some butter. You let it boil, you let it cook, that kind of thing. So, it is very much a popular thing here. Llama beans sound cool too, as long as it doesn't run away like the llama does in Fortnite now. So we had a mishap with stream on, let's see, what day was it? Was it Friday of last week or whatever? I did this as a cooking stream, y'all. I did meatloaf and I did corn and lima beans instead of mashed potatoes. And I sit here and went live, which I thought I was. The only one that came in here was Slimy because she happened to be sitting in Grand Stream waiting for him to go live and saw me cooking, but it never sent out a notification, never went to the Discord, and it didn't record it, so it wasn't in the VOD. So this is a redo, guys. This is a redo. So yay, we're live, and we're gonna keep moving along. So I'm here just peeling up some potatoes and gonna get these in here so we can get these boiling on the stove. And once I peel my potato, I like to cut it in half, um, so that way it boils a lot faster. So that helps a lot. So I'm just gonna finish peeling these. Then I'm gonna rinse them off. And then we're gonna put a little bit of seasoning in there with some water. And we're gonna put some butter in there. And we're gonna get it boiling and let these cook till they're tender to make our mashed potatoes. These are some really fresh potatoes. I just bought them yesterday. So these will be delicious for mashed potatoes. Once your potatoes start setting around too long in your kitchen, they start softening and they're not as crisp. And they don't make as good of a potato. Yep, you can leave peels on them if you want to. I like to peel the potatoes. Sometimes what I'll do if I do leave peeling on them is I'll do like my mom did, and I'll peel about half of them, and then I will not peel the other half. So there's not too much peeling. My mom said she felt like you could kind of overdo the peeling, and the peeling could get like overbearing sometimes. So that's what I do a lot of times. If I want to leave the peeling and have like smashed potatoes, I do that. Yes, Salt. It was funny because she was the only one in here because apparently I didn't really go live because it didn't keep the VOD. Havoc, everybody I play controller with, it doesn't take away the ability to talk. They just hook in their headset to their controller and it works. I know some people that stream and do that too. And you can talk through your Discord. Even Jeffro does it. Jeffro has a headset with his mic and he hooks it into his controller because he plays controller PC. And I can hear him, stream can hear him, and he can talk in Discord too. So that's what he does. Yes, a potato press is really cool, Salt. Yeah, those are neat. My mom used to have one of those a long time ago. I'll use my tabletop mixer a lot of times. And a trick about getting I learned this from my grandma, really good mashed potatoes that are creamy is the water, the butter water that you're boiling these in and the seasoned water, you don't pour all of it out. You leave just a little bit, okay? You leave just a little bit of water, maybe like that much in the pot. And then you kind of, start mashing them up with the mixer blade. And then you'll add your heavy whipping cream or your half and half or milk, whichever you prefer. And that leaving that little bit of water in there that you cooked them in really makes them be a nice, nice mashed potato. Batman! Yeah, it should allow you to do it, Havoc, because that's what most everyone does. It should. It may be a setting you need to change. Yeah, that's a good explanation too, Cilantro. Because Jeffro he has a headset that he added his mic onto, and it has I think he has some kind of I don't know if he has a splitter or not, and he hooks it into his controller. Now my headset for my gaming PC, I have a splitter for, but it just goes into the back of my computer because I don't play controller. I'm keyboard and mouse, so I don't have to worry about that. But I do know that you can do that because Jeffro does, and that's what Cilantro does too. Also, that's what Gran does that I play with that streams Grandpa. He has a headset and it goes into his controller too, and he streams. All right, this is our last potato here. All right, so let me set this over there. Hey, Mick. Salt, that's so funny. The last time I wore my ring and not my ring I wear to work in the shop, Fire Assassin, he noticed it and he was like, "Whoa, your ring!" It was so funny. It became this big topic. But yeah, I normally don't wear my ring much because I work in the shop and I just keep my rubber ring on for safety purposes. But yes, this isn't a wedding set, Salt, that was passed down. This was Jeffro's grandmother's wedding set. And so it kind of means a lot to me. Jeffro had me a wedding set made when we got married, and it was an emerald and it was diamond and emeralds. And we went on a trip to St. Augustine, and the maid stole my wedding set. So I was crushed and devastated. And as a surprise, when I got back, his mother gave me this. That was his grandmother's and told me to have it. So that's how I ended up with this. So it has a lot of meaning to me. All right, let me rinse off these potatoes. Okay. Oh, salt. Thank you so much. I do. I love my ring a lot. Okay, so I rinsed these potatoes off, and then I just covered them in some water. Okay, and now I'm just gonna put a stick of butter in here to boil with these. Yes, my other set was really beautiful, Thor. It was. I would love to get it remade one day if we could. It meant a lot to me because Jeffro knew my favorite um, stone was an emerald, and he put a lot of thought into it, and it was white gold, and he had them made together in the band, and it was like a marquee cut emerald, and then he had the wrap went around it, and it went all the way down to like each side. So there was it was every other tiny diamond, emerald, and it went down on each side, and he fused it together. So the band and the marquee ring itself was made together, and it was really special to me. And I guess the maid in St. Augustine thought so, and snuck in the bathroom and took it. So it made me sad, but that was back in like 2007 or 8 when that happened. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in this, and we're going to add a little bit of salt. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of salt in here. And I'm going to turn my unit on high, and I'm going to get these boiling, okay? Oh my gosh, Salt, you and your songs. Don't make me put a parasite on my head and sing that too. Oh my gosh, now you're making yourself laugh. Now you're going to be talking to yourself. Lord help. Okay, sorry I hit the camera there. This is another little pot I have a little bit of water in. And I'm going to put my lima beans in here. Normally, if we have lima beans fresh in the garden, that's what you shell and I put and cook. Right now, they're kind of out of season. They're not in yet. So I recommend frozen ones if you have them in your area. I like the tiny ones. You can get Ford Hook or tiny. I like the tiny ones. You find them in your freezer section. Um, they just look like this in case people aren't familiar with the lima bean. They're just a little green bean looking thing. And I'm going to put these down in some water. And you might have some sprouts and bad beans, and I just dig those out. All right. And then we're going to put some butter in here. The butter helps flavor these, and it also helps get them really tender, okay? My grandma used to put a stick of butter in with hers. So I just do that. If you have a piece of ham hock, you can do that instead of the butter. But I'm out of ham hock right now. So I'm going to just do the stick of butter. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of black pepper in here. I don't think Canada does have these salt. They are delicious though. I hate green beans or peas, but I love these. This is my favorite sort of a green vegetable. I know Kentucky, like Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, they all have lima beans because Jeffro's aunt and uncle grow them in their garden in Florida too. So I know they have them there too. They're on the menu here in Tennessee though. Like if you go to what we call a meat and three, which is like you get a meat and three vegetables, lima bean is an option. And the Cracker Barrel restaurants in the South, they have lima beans on their menu. I know some places do Hellbound, but some don't because I have a friend that lives in Jersey, and my cousin lives in New York, and they said they don't have lima beans in their area that they're in. Thank you for the alert, Jada. So I think it might depend on where you're at in the north. I'm gonna put a little bit of this cayenne red pepper in here because we like a little bit of a kick to our lima beans. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of cayenne, not a lot. Yeah, butter beans. People call them butter beans. Now there are different kind of butter bean that don't taste like these. They're whiter. Um, we, my grandpa used to grow two different. He was very big into the garden. We had crops everywhere. We had fields of crops and crops and crops. And he used to grow a butter bean and a lima bean. A butter bean is a bigger version of this, and it's whiter. This is a tiny llama. And so when he would grow them, he would grow a lot of times Burpee has a tiny llama, and he would grow their llamas. And then if we wanted, my grandma liked a big butter bean, he would grow those also. They're a little bit bigger than this and a little bit whiter. Lima beans are really, really green. They're just a little bit different, but very similar. Okay, so now I'm going to put these on the stove and get them boiling. Now, when these cook, when a lima bean cooks, these are bright green right now because they're in the raw state, okay? When these get to cooking, these are going to get dark. They're going to darken up. The green is going to change to a dark. And that's how you know that it is cooking, okay? That it is almost done. All right, now let's get on to this meatloaf. The reason the title of the stream and the title in the description is Mercy Meatloaf is that is the name Jeffro came up with for my meatloaf. This is really an Italian meatloaf, okay? This is an Italian meatloaf, and that's what it's called, but Jeffro renamed it to Mercy Meatloaf. And the reason it is a mercy meatloaf is when Jeffro eats it, he says that he goes, mercy, that's good. So that's why he renamed my meatloaf Mercy Meatloaf. But this is actually an Italian meatloaf. Now, I have gotten some meat from the farmer's market, and they come in 1 pound pouches. It takes 2 pounds to make of this recipe. So I have 2 pounds of meat in here, just ground beef. And this feeds the four of us, and we each get two slices, okay? Two slices, thin slices of meatloaf. If you do want more meatloaf than this, and there's more than four of you, or you want some for the next day, you just need to double this recipe. I have done that before and used 4 pounds of ground beef, and then double everything I'm about to tell you to put in it, okay? I've done that if my dad and sister are coming over or anything like that, okay? Um, what we're going to start off with is we're going to start off by putting some onion in the meatloaf. Now, Onion is one of the optional ingredients for this recipe, okay? A little bit of a small onion, um, or a fourth of a cup is optional. I like it because it adds a little bit of flavor, so I'm going to put it in mine. You do not have to. If you want to leave onion out or you don't like onion, you do not have to add it. Another optional thing for this recipe is a fourth of a cup of chopped green bell peppers. I don't put that in here, but that is another optional thing, okay? So I'm just going to chop up some onion here and I'm going to put it in my meatloaf. I think you don't want too much onion because it'll overpower your meatloaf. Now, if you get a strong onion, you might want to put a little less, okay? Because what you're trying to achieve is the nice flavor. Let me leave that piece off. The nice flavor of the onion, but you do not want it to taste like an onion, okay? You just want it to add flavor. Yes, I use garlic in a lot of stuff because I'm Italian and I grew up with a mother who put garlic in everything. Now, I think you can have too much onion and stuff. Um, that's just me. My grandma cooked with onion a lot, and she even would like kind of slim it down on certain things. Because once you cook an onion and stuff, it gets kind of more stronger and potent, as my grandma would say. But we put garlic in so much stuff growing up. Uh, because my mom being Italian, she just put it in everything. I'm just trying to dice this up kind of nice. I don't want big chunks. You want it to be nice and woven through. Alrighty. Yes, heat round mercy meatloaf. All right, so I've got this chopped up enough now, so I'm just going to add it into this 2 pounds of ground beef. So I have my onion in my 2 pounds of ground beef. Okay. Now we're going to add in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of chopped fresh basil leaves, okay? I have 2 teaspoons of chopped fresh basil. And then we're going to put in a half a teaspoon of salt. And then the hidden secret that people don't put in their meatloaf that actually adds a nice flavor is a half a teaspoon of ground mustard. It goes really well in this Italian meatloaf, so we're going to put in our ground mustard. And then a fourth of a teaspoon of ground black pepper. We're going to put that in there. And then we're going to put in 1 clove of garlic, okay? So I have my garlic right here, my clove of crushed garlic. And I'm going to add my clove of garlic. Then I'm going to crack 1 egg that's been sitting at room temperature, okay? I'm going to crack it into here. So 1 egg. See, some of this stuff like the egg, it's going to help hold it together. So that's the purpose of the egg in case anyone was wondering. You should have basil in Canada, I think, salt. Now, we're going to add a cup of Italian breadcrumbs. If you can buy breadcrumbs in your grocery store, there should be an option to get Italian ones. So get the Italian ones to use for this recipe and measure out 1 full cup of Italian breadcrumbs. Put that in there. And we already have our onion. And the next thing, the final thing, is you want to add a cup of milk. Yes, a cup of milk. The cup of milk. Add your moisture to your meatloaf. And it also helps hold things together too. Now, I'm going to put some gloves on. Some of my kitchen gloves here. And I'm going to start mixing this together, okay? It's going to be mushy and ooey and gooey. Sometimes I don't even use gloves to do this, but it's so messy. I like to kind of use them at first anyway to get the milk incorporated in the egg and stuff because it does get really, really gooey. Now, my meatloaf recipe is already in the recipe folder in the Discord because I did this when I first started cooking streams in January. We did this, okay? Um, we did this recipe, but it was before a lot of people came in here, and I was asked if I could do this again because there's not a VOD of it. Now there will be a VOD of this, and Cilantro obviously will upload it to YouTube. So I decided to do this over, but the recipe, because I had already done it, is in Discord already in the recipe folder. You'll probably have to scroll up to find it, but it's in there. Now, okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my dish over here. And we are going to plop this out into here. I already have my oven on 350 degrees. And you're going to cook this for an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, because you want to make sure that it is completely done. Now we're going to pat this out. Now I'm going to pat it all the way full in here. Oh, you never ate meatloaf? Oh, man. We grew up with meatloaf all the time. It was a very, very much of a staple item growing up as a kid. We also had a cow processed every year on our farm. So my mom would use the meat a lot to make meatloaf. Okay, so now you can see it's all the way around the edges. Well, we want to make it into a loaf, okay? Because we need it to be able to drain any of the grease off on the edges so that way it doesn't set on this and make it nasty. So you just take your hand and you pull it back from the edges. And you're going to do that all the way around. Now, let me wash my hand off. Now, I've washed my hands here. So now you can see how I kind of just went around the edges and it kind of indents all the way around. So in essence, it's like a little trough all the way around as a kind of a way to put it. So when it cooks, anything, any of the grease or juices are going to go to the edge. So when you cut your slices, you can pull it up out of here and get it out of the grease. Um, I like to do Um, nothing lower than 80-20 meat because then you get too greasy for your meatloaf, okay? 90-10 is a better cut of beef for a meatloaf. But 80-20, I wouldn't go any lower than that just because you don't want a greasy meatloaf. You're going to get some grease off of it, but you don't want it to be utterly disgusting. So I would recommend at least 80-20 and go higher than that, okay? Because if you don't, it's going to be absolutely nasty in my opinion. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick this in the oven that's already preheated at 350 degrees. And we're going to cook it for an hour to an hour and a half. Now, at the very end, when this is, you think, pretty much almost done, okay, then you're going to take ketchup and you're just going to drizzle it across here. I just kind of hold my container and I just kind of drizzle it like this, okay? And put it back in the oven for a little bit and let it cook that ketchup on it, okay? And then you're going to cut it like this into your slices. You're just going to go from side to side. And I make my slices about that thick, and they're long slices, okay? They make nice long slices of your meatloaf. Salt, you're so funny. So let me turn around and put this in my oven. And I'm going to set my timer here. I've set it for an hour and 10 minutes, okay? Okay, now I'm going to try to do something without you seeing my house and my face here. Some people have asked me about my pantry because I've told them about my pantry that my husband made me when we moved into this house. My pantry is built by Jeffro and it was made to match my farmhouse. And it has a screen door that he made to make it look like a screen door, but it is actually um, he attached it to the cabinet. And on the side, which I'm not going to show you because it has my kids' names, it has each of my children's name, and they put their handprints and paint on the side of it um, when he made it. And it was given to me for Mother's Day the year we moved in our home. Okay. So, what I'm going to try to do here, if I can, is show it to you. Okay. I'm going to turn that camera off because I don't want you to like see my nasty house here. And I'm going to try to show it to you. So that's my pantry. That's my pantry in the corner of my kitchen. And the door is a screen door. and it just has shelves in it. I know some people don't like how it's exposed in there because you can see everything in there, but that doesn't really bother me. It's just things in tubs or whatever. Um, and so, but that's a screen door. It actually has a screen in it, and he put a little silver handle on it, and it has a little hinge on the side so you can hinge it closed just like you would a screen door. And then it goes almost to the ceiling, and on the top, I just put like my zip bags and foil and stuff like that on the top of it. But he made it really tall. It almost goes completely to my ceiling, as you can see. So it's really tall, really heavy. When the kids were small, he bolted it to the wall for me so it wouldn't fall over on them. But it's so heavy, I don't think it was going to go anywhere. So, uh, definitely, definitely, that is my pantry. So, anyways, I wanted to show that to you guys because some I had told some people about that, but that's my pantry. Instead of having them match my cabinets, I just thought that was really cool and it would go with my farmhouse look. Yeah, I kind of do that too. I'll look in their salt and I'm like, because on the top shelf I have all my like salt, flour, tea bags, pancake mix, and I have it in containers on the top shelf. And then like my sprays and different odd and end things on the second shelf. And so my canned goods are on the fourth shelf. And I try to kind of do that. It gets kind of messy at times because when you grocery shopping, you just want to get it unloaded. I start slinging stuff in there and then I have to reorganize. But anyways, that is my pantry. And then if you'll hold on, I wanted to show Salt something. You weren't in here the other day because you and I were talking about photography. So give me just a minute. I want to show you something. Okay, so you and I were talking, Salt. You and I were talking about beach pictures and such. This is just one. It's not framed. It's on a backer board. But this is one. I'm going to see if I can do this where you can see it. This is one from our beach trip that Jeffro did. It's kind of got a glare, sorry. But this was in Florida. This is the one I was telling you about, Salt, that Jeffro did when he did photography. And he just has like a little scripture put on the bottom of it that he had printed on it, and it just has scripture that kind of goes with the picture itself. But that is the picture that he took in Florida. He actually entered this picture. I think it won a small contest at one of our fairs, but this is one of the pictures he did while we were there. Yeah, what is that called though? It had a name though. It wasn't just St. Petersburg. It was called something, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. I cannot think of the name of it, Jeffro. I'm getting a glare. I'm so sorry. But you can kind of see. Yes, Jeffro took this. He used to do photography. He used to do photography and enter it. I have a really cool print in our living room framed. It's massive that he took of the castle at Disney World when they did fireworks, and he won Best of Show with it. But yeah, this is one. This one hangs in the hall. Um, and I really, really like it. But I wanted to show you that one because I know we had talked about some of the beach pictures Jeffro did. But that's one I had printed, and it's in the hall. Um, he uh he also has one in our bedroom that's really pretty. It's of a waterfall in the Great Smoky Mountains, and it's very elongated and tall, and he made a frame for it. I don't know. That was really early, Salt. Jeffro could probably tell you. But he got it very early before we were even up and took that picture. I want to say he got up at like 5 a.m. or something to take that picture, Salt. And he was there by 6 something when the sun just started cresting. He took a bunch of pictures just to get the one he wanted. Yeah, the magic hour. That's what Jeff Rowe would call it. There was a certain hour called, they called it in photography the magic hour when you get the best sunrise or sunset. There's a magic hour for sunset too. You don't have to, Jeff Rowe. That one's hard to get to right now, Jeff Rowe, because that's on the other side of our bed that's dismantled right now because it broke. So we might can do that another time though because that one's on my side of the bed and that's kind of hard to get to. He has a really pretty one though. I'll have to show you guys sometime of the castle from Disney World too. That's in the living room. That's the one he won Best of Show with. But I have stuff all over my walls in my house if y'all could see. From my husband's photography to all of his wood carvings. We have wood carvings everywhere. If you could just imagine, it's like all over our house. So like here's one in my dining room. I just went and got to show you this. This is another one Jeffro did. This is one Jeffro made the frame and he chip carved this. And this hangs in my dining room. He did all the little corners and it was just a plain piece of wood and he drew this himself. He gets patterns on some things and some things he free draws because he used to draw too. So he free draws stuff. And so he took a chip carving knife and he chip carved all of this. And we used to go to a fair every August and he would sell this stuff. And this is one that didn't sell that was left and he framed it for me and give it to me. He framed it and stained this. So I mean that's just like a portion of it. I mean I could go on for days and days and show you guys. I will show you one more and then I'm going to be done with stream. I will show you guys this and then I'm going to end stream, but this is one of my favorite things right here. My husband can tell you how many hours it took him. Um, he is the wood whisperer. He's very humble. He doesn't think he's that talented, I believe, but he is. But this right here, y'all, took a lot of hours, and I want to show you this because this is one of my pieces I'm really proud of him for doing. This is the American flag, and he took a big piece of wood and he hand carved this, and he made it look like it has ripples, and it is one big piece of wood. Then he took some paint and turned it into dye, and he dyed this. He cut each star into the flag. And this is a small one that he did to test, basically. This hangs in my dining room too. Let me see if I can pull out some. He's making a really big one now that he hasn't finished that I want to have over this one, and then he's going to sell this one. But this is one that I'm really proud of. He even took the end down here and rippled it up so it looks like the flag's flying. How many hours was this, Jeffro? I can't remember this flag. I was trying to remember how many hours it took. But yeah, I mean, he drew in the lines and everything. And this one, he did not have any kind of, um, he didn't have any kind of, what am I saying, pattern. He freehandly drew this. So this was all freehand. And he has one in our basement, our shop, and it is a lot wider than this one. It's about that much wider, and it's thicker, and it is just he made it even more fly looking. So this is one of my favorite pieces. Um, I have to say I'm very proud of that piece. It is just gorgeous. So yes, I have art all over my house. I mean, even over my table right here where I'm cooking, his one of his first pieces. Um, Below the stars. Oh, are you talking about right here? Are you talking about this? Yeah, he cut that out to make it look like a ripple. If that's what you're talking about, it kind of looks like a ripple. Yes, and that's another good point. Jeffro had got the measurements of what the stars were on the American flag, and he measured the stars out so they would be the exact measurement of the stars on the American U.S. flag. So they would be the exact thing. So yes, yes, yes. But yeah, I have stuff everywhere, y'all. I could go on and on. I'm gonna have to do show and tell every cooking stream now. So, anyways, guys, I have my meatloaf in the oven. Uh, oh my God, hellbound. Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Hey, Allie. Yes, yes, fourth on Sunday. If you live in the great USA, enjoy your 4th of July. That is for sure. So we have our llamas uh boiling and we have our potatoes boiling. We have about 55 minutes left on the meatloaf. Yeah, this hangs by my dining room table. I know, Jeffro. I didn't even think of that when I did it, but it's pretty darn cool. It's pretty darn cool. All right, guys, that's my cooking stream for today. Potatoes have to finish boiling. The beans have to finish. Like normal, I'll put a picture in the Discord of everything finished. Um, and my meatloaf, like I said, it's cooking away. It's cooking away. Y'all get to see, you get to have a tour of my pantry tonight. My husband's carvings and our pictures. You didn't know you were gonna get all this for free, did you? I hope you're doing good, Frank. I saw Frank in here too. Here, let me move my whoop. Sorry. Okay, because I don't have the stove camera hooked up. We just have everything boiling. You can see right there. Everything's boiling away. And the meatloaf is cooking away in the oven. I don't know if you can see it. It's just cooking, cooking, cooking. And that is going to be it. I'm going to set y'all down. Whoop, I don't want you to see my nasty kitchen here. Bring you back over here to the flag. All right, guys and gals. I thank you guys for coming and joining me this lovely Friday evening. And I hope you guys enjoy your weekend if you are having anything going on for the 4th. We're just chilling here at home. We usually don't do anything major. And probably just going to cook and hang at home. Sometimes the kids get some fireworks and we shoot them in the road right in front of our house. It's been kind of dry lately, so I don't know if we will or not. Grand's not live yet, is he? I was going to raid Grand, but it looks like he's not live yet. But I have him on auto host. He's getting ready. Okay. I wish I knew if he was about to start, we would raid him. I know it's usually about 7:15. Hey, I shoot the fireworks for myself. I shoot the fireworks for myself, Frank. I like fireworks. The only thing I don't like is them daggone sparklers these days. Whatever they done to the sparklers, they eat my arms up. True, Hellbound. True, true, true. Oh, and I might start, just to let y'all know, on Saturdays, Ben's Grand takes that as a day off. He has Thursday and Saturdays off. Uh, so on some Saturdays, I might do a surprise stream here and there on Saturdays, since I don't have cooking stream on Saturdays anymore. I'm doing them on Friday nights. I may just do a stream, surprise streams on Saturday evening. Ben's Grand isn't going to be streaming on Saturdays. Just to give somebody, if somebody wants something to watch, I might stream some Fortnite or Apex, or we might even do something fun if any of y'all have Uno or Clue. You can join in and we can play together on stream, that kind of thing. We might do that on some Saturdays too for some fun things to do when Grand's not streaming, if you guys want to hang out and do that. Yes, I know you like fireworks, Cilantro. We all like fireworks. I like the little ones that are just like the little fountains. I think they're prettier than the ones that go up in the sky. All right, it looks like Grand is live. Let's give a Grand a raid. And if you don't follow him, please follow him. Let me do this. And you guys have a blessed weekend. And don't forget, tell somebody that you love them. See you guys later.